What's up, guys? We're Dead Poet Society, hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Let's talk about music, guys. Like when I first heard about you guys, I was actually surprised that I hadn't heard of you guys before. The music is incredible. I was stuck listening to the Spotify, like your EPs that are on Spotify, and you guys are about to release new music right now. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the process, the creative process for Dead Poet Society.
It could be a lot of different stuff. It usually starts with someone having an idea, and we all get together and kind of just riff on it and add little parts. It could be anything from someone has a melody and they just hum it and go like, okay, let's go from there. Or there's like half a song written and then it kind of just evolves. And when people start adding their own twist, it kind of starts becoming it comes in as like something that I wrote or something that Jack wrote. Right. And then people start adding their own parts and it starts to get the Dead Poet Society flavor when like everybody's ideas come together.
Right. Now, do you guys all write the lyrics together as well, or are you guys like individually working on your instruments and then Jack is working on the lyrics? Like, how does that work?
I think it kind of it depends. It depends on the song. I mean, a lot of the times one person will have most of the lyrics, and then we bring it in, and everybody kind of has to approve every lyric. Right. So like
to the T.
Yeah, right before we track vocals for any song is like the most tense part of the writing.
Changed in the booth, you know. It's like, oh, now that we're hearing it on the record or the rough cut of it, they're like, oh, we got to change that. But I mean, some of them are even puzzle pieces too. There's songs where like someone wrote one verse, Will writes one verse, Jack writes one verse, and they all just line up. So it depends. It really just depends. But I don't think we have any song that one person wrote every lyric. Can you think of one?
Maybe
just one more. No, shut up. Don't talk.
I think the writing happens when we try to like satisfy everything. Like you try to satisfy what you want in the song, but you also try to hear what someone else is hearing. Right. I think that's like the trickiest part, but I think that's also how we get the coolest stuff.
Right. Now, how did you guys come together to create the sound that this band is all about? Like, what is it about this sound that sounds like you?
So when the band started, it was basically like alt rock, like kind of 2000s sounding super cheesy, like pop rock. And then I don't really know what happened, but over time, it kind of developed into this thing, which we never, set out to be like a rock band or any certain style of music. But a lot of the sound comes from the guitar that him and I made. Well, he pretty much made, which is our 7 strings that have no frets on them. Okay. So we got a lot of our tonality from that, and at least in most of our recent stuff. But
was that experimentation, or was that something you guys kind of had in mind from the beginning?
Tell the story.
Well, yeah. Well, we were in high school, and I bought like a 7 string, and I was like, dude, like I want to make this fretless. So he took a soldering iron and soldered all the frets off. Yeah. And then I just kind of like left it in the corner for years. Like 3 years into this band, I picked it up because I was in a writing block or whatever, and just started screwing around with it. And we started writing songs with it, and it was like, oh, this could be our thing, I mean, we still write. I'd like to think like a big variety of things. Right. Like we still write the poppier stuff and the regular rock stuff, but that's kind of at the core of what I think our identity is, you know?
Now, since you kind of mentioned that right now, like how do you guys still, even though you try a different style of music, it still sounds like Dead Poet Society? For example, Animation gives me a reggae vibe. Oh, cool. So, like how are you able to create something like that and still make it sound like your band and not like, oh, you're trying to cover a band?
I think it's because we're not really trying to do anything, and just if we're all playing together, it's going to sound like Dead Poet Society, because that's just the way that our pieces, like the way Will plays drums, the way I play bass, the way Jack sings, like it doesn't matter what style we're playing, they're going to come together like Dead Poet Society because it's us. And we don't really try to do anything, but it's just like, it just comes out and it sounds like us, But I think, I don't know. We just opened up to the fact, I think the fretless really opened up the floodgates for the creativity and stuff, because like Jack said, we started out being like, I guess we grew up in playing like hardcore and like deathcore bands and stuff. And we were all on our own trip. And in high school, we were playing like a Day to Remember shit or like a Casey Strain, like out there. And I think we felt like, oh, we're older now, and like that stuff isn't really palatable. Like let's just try to like make some more mature music. And then it ended up being kind of boring. And we hit a point where like, well, fuck it, we miss heavy music. Will likes hip hop. Jack likes Bob Dylan. Like all this stuff. We're like, why don't we just add it all together? Like why are we trying to write rock music or whatever? Let's just you know, make stuff that makes us happy.
Right. I like that like combination and stuff. Like with you, Will, like since you come from like more of a hip hop background, like how do you incorporate that with your drums?
I don't really try to. It's just the way I hear things in my head when, like, let's say Jack brings out a riff. It'd be like, oh, it'd be sick if, like, I don't know, maybe we tried closed hi-hat here. Actually, he often brings up not to go big in choruses sometimes. Like, he wants to sometimes pull back, and I think that's so fucking cool because, sorry if I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. Yeah, it's not what you're expecting. Yeah. And, yeah, so a lot of that's.
It seems like you guys kind of gave yourselves, you know, ground rules, you know, things to do and not to do for these kind of tracks. What kind of, what was the reason behind these ground rules? Like, for example, the lyrics, like you guys all have to check the lyrics before or approve the lyrics before they're released. So, you know, why did you guys kind of choose to do that?
Well, I mean, I think it's not necessarily what we know to do. It's what we know not to do. Meaning, like, we all have such different influences in terms of what our favorite bands are, favorite artists, but we also all have the same things that we don't like. Right. You know what I mean? Like more often than not, what we have in common is what we don't like. So when we're writing something and it's a little bit too much like this, we know we can relate to that. We'll be, oh, well, that sounds too much like this, or like this is too basic or whatever. We all kind of understand those things. So I think that's really what shapes it, is because we avoid the things we don't like, and we can kind of tell from each other. Right. Like, I don't know if that's
usually
confusing.
It's unanimous. Usually, like, well, hey, and it's not like in terms of like ground rules and stuff. It's like we try everything. It usually just the same stuff or the same style of stuff or like gets picked because it's what we do like, and like we'll try everything. We'll try all the lyrics. You know, it's like not like a rule we can't use it or whatever, but it's usually unanimous. We'll all look at each other and be like, oh, that doesn't work. Like, no, and it's like. You don't have to approve it or anything, but I think it comes more from us all caring so much and just being really opinionated people where you're like, I can't fucking let that go.
Well, especially like times like today where it's like you have to be careful what you say, what you put out there. So, you know, I don't blame you guys for doing that. So you guys released two new singles in this year, 2018, Touch being the last one, and you guys are about to release American Blood in a couple of weeks. Are these new singles like part of a third EP that you guys are working on? Are you guys already preparing for a debut EP? Are you guys doing the singles game? Like what's going on right now as far as the music goes?
So nothing that we've announced yet, but we do have big plans to go into the studio. Yeah.
Is this are we announcing it right now? Or are you just gonna announce?
Well, we can release this whenever you want me to release it.
That's true.
That's it. They know.
They know. Oops.
So we're gonna be hitting the studio in October with our producer Alex Newport, who is like feels like he's becoming our fifth band member at this point, and we're gonna do it might be an album or an EP. That's kind of up in the air, and the next single, we got a music video coming out at the end of the month. And we're super excited for that. I think it could be amazing. This next single that's coming out is the first single that we've done with an actual producer. Okay. You know, because we've done all of our own stuff to date. Right. So this one, we kind of took a gamble. We're like, okay, let's just throw all of our creativity to this guy and just trust him. And it worked. So we were really lucky with that.
We're really nervous about that, too. Because it was the first time we've done that. Yeah. Like...
But I mean, going into the studio with someone new, like what was that like? You know, letting them hear your music, did you guys write with him as well, or did you guys just go in to record?
Yeah, well, he basically did some last minute edits on. It was little things, you know. He's like, okay, let's shorten this part. Let's that lyric isn't good. What else do you have? And we'd all kind of chip in. Then finally, it actually was really fast and quick process because we're used to just the four of us analyzing the shit out of everything, so it's just
so at each other. Yeah,
he does his critiques in a way that like it makes you not second guess things. It's just like, oh, okay, that's obvious. Why are we overthinking things? He's like, yeah, you could overthink it or you could just do it. You know, Alex is the same.
We've been sitting there like with 8 million overcomplicated ideas, like trying them for hours and hours and hours, and then finally going, oh, it's the easy answer the whole time. He kind of took that and went like, here, let me like put the carrot in front of you. This is the answer right here.
So since you guys kind of experience having a producer now, like, is that something that you guys want to continue doing moving forward with your music, or just temporarily?
I think absolutely. I mean, I'm bummed that we didn't do that 3 years ago, because it's just the easiest way to, like, okay, we write the songs and we perform the songs,
right,
and we give them to someone who does that. Like, it was so stressful doing all the mixing, engineering. I mean,
right,
there's a reward to that, and it's fun, you know, and I love producing and engineering, but having someone else do it and just take it off your hands and kind of put their opinion on it, it's invaluable. It really is. So we're definitely going to be doing that. I mean, granted, if we do something on our own that we demo out and it's like, oh, this is badass,
right,
you know.
I mean, you guys are capable of doing it. It's not a question.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, you know, as of now, everything we do is going to go to him, or, you
It's
know.
going to be tough to go back, though, because there's going to be a significant difference once people hear this next release.
Oh, yeah.
After Alex has touched it. It's like, it's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you know, is it safe to say the same will happen with music videos? Because I know you guys direct your own music videos as well. So are you guys planning on bringing in a director, or planning on bringing in like a crew for everything that you guys are doing now?
Yeah, well, we're working with we always use, we either direct ourselves, like you said, or we experiment with other directors. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be working with a new music video director at the end of the month. And it's like just picking a producer. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
But we like to put as many things in place beforehand to kind of assure us that it'll be close to what we want, you know? Right. So we got a video director at the end of the month who I think is going to do a great job. And but, you know, we'll see. That's because we found the producer, at least, you know. Have we found the video director yet? We don't know. Still up in the air. Yeah, but we're always pretty much just like trying new people, experimenting, right, until we find those, we put the puzzle pieces together, right, you know?
There's always a plan B, because we know, like, if it doesn't work out, we can always just direct it ourselves. We just are trying to take it to the next level. So if it's not the right situation to go to the next level up, like if Alex hadn't worked out, we would have been like, all right, we'll just do it ourselves, and then we'll take the next opportunity to try to boost to the next level. We just got lucky and we found the right person. So it's the same thing with the video. You know, we just want to, like, you know, you're only capable of doing so much when you're so close to the project. Mm-hmm. So we want to just get some outside opinions. But, you know, at the end of the day, if we have to, we'll just do it ourselves.
Right. Now, you guys have a fan base in South America. Why don't you guys have a fan base out here in the States? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. You guys are so underrated. But, like, how did you know, South America happen for you guys, that you guys have been able to go down there and tour and do some shows, you know, more often than other bands today?
I mean, we got to thank Pepe Problemas, his YouTube channel that shouted us out with our Sound and Silence music video. That pretty much gave us our fans. Yeah.
Was that the song you guys feel like kind of opened the doors for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. That was all Pepe shouting it out. And I guess it was just like the right song, the right video at the right time. And he just, like, fate, he saw it, shared it, and that was it, really. And then they just kind of took us under their wing. They invited us down there, and they just showed us the ropes of touring Mexico, and that's it, really. Yeah. Just keep going back.
Now, as you guys mentioned, the sound for the new single, like, is you know, the fans are going to be surprised about it. But what made this, aside from Alex being in you know, the process, like, what made this sound so different? Like, how do you feel you kind of evolved with this new single?
Well, I think this new single is different from our other stuff in a number of different ways. But, I mean, this one is a little bit more, I don't want to say mainstream, but it's poppier. It's still heavy, but it's very conversational. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. So some of our stuff is experimental and kind of out there and very metaphorical, which we're still going to do. We love doing that stuff. But this particular single is just and I think we all kind of relate to the lyrics, which it's to all of us, we share the meaning of the lyrics, which I'm not going to say, but whoever listens to it may relate as well. And it just feels like a conversation going on in our own heads. That's the way I look at it. So with this single, that's a certain expression that we haven't done with the other songs. Right. You know.
And as you guys were creating that, like, how difficult or easy, you know, was it creating that kind of new song?
I think it was, I don't want to say easy. I don't know if easy is the right word, but natural. And I think it really just, it's nothing to do with us, really, as much as it's a culmination of just writing so many songs, and you hit that breaking point. Like if you're like trying to learn kick flips or something, and you try every single day, and that's it. Just one day you just land it. So it's like we've written so many songs. This is the culmination of just getting a little better each time, a little, more critical, a little more aware, and then naturally just developing those muscles. And really, it's just talking. If you can write a song that you can talk with, like Jack said, it's conversational. If you can write a song where people don't have to guess at it, you're just going straight from your heart out. There's no like in between, translation. So it's just that. I think it just naturally came out.
For those that haven't heard of your music yet, like what is Dead Poet Society all about? Why do you guys create the music that you create today? Save that one for you, man.
That's my response. Anyone else?
Why do we create the music we create today?
Yeah.
Because we have to, we can't not.
That's all you know.
Yeah, it's all we know. So as long as it goes through the head, it's got to come out. So as long as that keeps happening, it's gonna keep going.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Next time we got to get the other Jack in this picture as well. But or we could just do it ourselves. It's fine. It works. It works.
It was so good without him. It was amazing.
Good, right?
Yeah.
He's out.
Maybe I'll just join the band. This has always been a dream of mine. So, all right, guys, signing out here. I'm hanging out with Dead Poet Society. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, click that subscribe button.